Hey, what's happening, man? So the fragrance I'm wearing today is a fragrance I've owned for a long time. I love it. It is Armaf's Le Parfait. So Armaf, in my opinion, is most famous for their take on Creed Aventus, which is Club de Nuit Intense Man. Very popular fragrance, very talked about fragrance. And this is an amalgamation of Creed Aventus and Creed's Green Irish Tweed, or their take on that, if you will, which is Tre Nuit. I love Tre Nuit. Very good. Green, citrusy, summertime monster. I wear it all the time in the warmer weather. I was not crazy about Club de Nuit Intense Man. Smelled good, but the smokiness in at least the batch I had was too overwhelming. I didn't hate it, but it gave me a headache every time I wore it. So nonetheless, yes, this is an amalgamation of the two, and that's a concept that I think is pretty damn cool. So to go over the notes real quick before we go over the bottle, it's got pineapple, blackcurrant, lemon, bergamot. In the mid, we've got spicy notes, rose and jasmine. And then in the base, we've got musk, ambergris, vanilla, and patchouli. This bottle itself is pretty cool. I mean, yeah, it's kind of cheap, but it's Armaf. What do you expect? It doesn't feel that cheap for the products or the materials they've used, excuse me, and for what it is. I don't think Armaf wants to spend much of their budget on bottle and presentation. But this does have some information on the bottom. It looks like some broken glass or broken pieces of something put together. The cap is lightweight, obviously cheap, but it doesn't feel ridiculously cheap, just really plasticky, but it's rigid and tough feeling. The top there is very cheap plastic feeling. You do have the Armaf logo up there, and it's magnetic, so that's kind of cool, right, for whatever it's worth. Let me grab a test strip. We'll spray it, talk about it a little bit. I do like this atomizer, and one thing that Armaf is relatively famous for that I would agree with is having cheap or harsh openings. If you don't know much about Armaf, that's one thing I will say, be forewarned. Their openings can be really crappy and really off-putting. But if you just relax, be patient, give it a little bit of time, they develop into very nice fragrances most of the time. But Le Parfait is one of the very few that I can think of off the top of my head besides Craze, where I do like the opening a lot. I like the opening. I like this fragrance through and through. Now, what I get out of it, obviously, if you haven't lived under a rock, you're familiar with the Creed Aventus DNA. It's the pineapple, the smoky, that stuff. Well, what I think they've done here, in my opinion, is you get what I like the most about that DNA, which is the pineapple and whatnot, and the fruitiness. But they've toned down the smokiness, the harshness, what I call harshness, because I'm not too crazy about that part of the fragrance. They toned down the smokiness, and they've added the nice, green, fresh, citrusy elements of the Tre Nuit, which is awesome. A lot of people will say this is a warmer summertime fragrance, which I can agree with, but it performs and projects decent enough to wear in the colder weather. In fact, I wear this all the time in the colder weather, and I've got countless compliments wearing this fragrance. And again, probably 40% of the time I wear this is in the cooler weather, because at least off of my skin, performance is not an issue. I get easily 8 hours off of my skin with this fragrance. And right now you can pick this up for, I want to say, 26 bucks, under $30. But in my experience, these damn Armaf fragrances, or a lot of the, cheapy fragrances of any brand, can skyrocket in price at any given time, or they can disappear at any given time. I don't think that's going to happen with Le Parfait. But the thing is, this came out, I don't forget what year it was, but it's been a while now. I wouldn't say this is underrated. I would say it's, like many fragrances, forgotten, because everybody these days is always racing to be at the forefront, the first one to talk about this fragrance, or I'm breaking news on this new release. So again, this is one that I would consider forgotten. Nobody's really talking about it anymore. It's a classic to me. It's a blind buy worthy, very safe, very easy wear, very versatile wear. And I would go as far as to say I think everybody should own this. It's really easy spectrum on age. Young guys can rock this. A 65-year-old man can rock this. It's just so easy. I got this, probably at least 4, maybe 5 years ago, and I paid 20 some dollars. I think I paid 21 at the time. Right now, again, like I said, it's probably 26 bucks off of Amazon or FragranceNet. Hunt around. I usually don't suggest buying off Amazon, but Armaf is a clone house. So I don't know who's going to waste the money cloning a clone house. You're probably not going to get a fake off of Amazon. So get out and grab it if you haven't already, and maybe grab a couple bottles, because again, maybe it's going to go up in price. But even if it doesn't, this is so safe. You can wear this anytime, any place, anywhere, and you will not be disappointed. That's it and that's all. I got to get my butt to work. It's getting late. Thank you guys for taking time to watch the video. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll talk to you next time.